Hi, welcome everyone to a review of, today we're going to take a different route, and instead of just reviewing USDI, we're actually going to talk to Katie, a good friend of mine, and she's doing the WDI, the Web Development Immersive course, and let's take a look. So first of all, thanks Katie for joining me today, and so let's go with the question. So number one, what is your background before GA?
Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, good question. Before, I don't think I've ever told you this, right? Have I told you my history?
I don't think so.
Okay, all right. So I was living in Idaho previously to this, working at a ski resort, and I was actually working in group sales there, and I was planning all their weddings. So that ended up being pretty crazy during the summertime. I think I did about 20 every summer. So it was a lot going on. They'd get married at the top of the mountain, they'd take the chairlift up, they'd have the whole views behind them, and then if it was winter, they'd ski down. Sometimes in the summer, they'd mountain bike down. But anyways, it was awesome. It was a lot of like thinking on your feet with event planning and like troubleshooting, because things never go as you plan.
Yeah.
But in weddings, it's definitely like more high pressure, and I liked that problem solving aspect, but I was also wanting to do something that was a little bit more technical. So I'd always enjoyed using technology to make things more efficient. And should I transition into how I started doing GA, or?
I mean, you can. Pretty much it's about what is.
Okay, sorry.
So, like, what is your background, as in maybe a little bit about education?
Okay.
How you move here? What makes you move here?
Yeah.
Is this more just about your personal thing that has nothing to do with GA?
Yeah.
Just how you get to this point.
Yeah. Okay, so reflecting a little bit further on education than prior to GA.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah. I actually went to school out in Hawaii, which was awesome, on the Big Island. I was studying geography there, which was perfect because they have like 11 of the 13 climate zones, everything except from, the Arctic, obviously. It's like, by the equator. But yeah, so I was studying that, and I did a lot of like ecological restoration work. I was also working in like GIS, if you're familiar with that. It's like mapping technologies.
Okay.
But I was really passionate about the environment and culture and preserving things, and how like technology can like streamline data that's already been collected to try to, make the process go faster in environmental reviews and make sure they're accounting for everything. So that was kind of my previous background. I also briefly did a stint working in yachting. That was kind of random.
What?
Yachting?
What's that?
Like the yachting industry, like the huge boats.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So after school, I was going to work in the archaeological consulting field, but had my offer revoked last minute because the project lost its funding. So I was like, maybe this is a sign. Maybe I should like travel. I've been living there for 4 years, and it was cool, but I was kind of wanting to do something exciting. So
I mean, that's pretty exciting. First still.
yeah. So yeah, I like sold all my possessions in like a matter of 2 weeks. Then I moved to like South Florida, and I started working on boats as crew for probably one season, just to test it out and to travel. I traveled around like the Bahamas, and I did all the New England coast, and yeah.
I need to travel more. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
So that's really cool. So now, after that, why did you choose, so not just GA, but why web development, like coding?
Yeah. I had used technology, not necessarily coding, but just software. In my undergrad, like I had said, to like streamline that environmental review process. and I found myself wanting to do more technical things. Like I was doing mapping, but I really wanted to like write the code for the modeling and how to like combine databases. I was wanting to like dig deeper into it. And then even like with wedding planning and project management, like I would create Excel sheets to kind of like get all of our departments on track so we were all communicating. So I'm like, how can I make this better? And I think it was mainly frustration with like, not being able to do the things that I wanted to do with the technology and not having the skills necessarily to do
To
those.
fix it.
Yeah, I was just like frustrated. I'm like, how can I make it better? So, just wanting to make things better.
I mean, again, like not just about education, like, because the story about this is a lot of people, myself included, is that our background has pretty much nothing to do with the courses that we choose. Yes, there are some aspects that's a little bit related somehow. Like for me, it's UX design, so I have to do research. And I was a biology major, so I have research skills. But at the same time, it's not like some technical thing. So the way people transition into these kind of tech field is really diverse. Like, I hope that can give you some kind of encouragement and some motivation if you ever doubt yourself, like, oh, I didn't do anything that is related to web development or like user experience or UI design or things like that. Of course, you have to be real. Like, if you're, I don't know if I should use this, but if you're 5 foot tall and you think that you're going to beat LeBron, that's not going to happen. So you have to evaluate yourself. But at the same time, you just have to keep pushing forward and then actually test yourself out, because you never know whether or not you can do it. And then when you can do it, are you good at it? That's a different story too. But still, it's a diverse background. That's really cool. And how about, what is your experience so far? So now that you've been almost finished the journey, actually, what is your experience in terms of making decision for the career change? As in, how do you feel? Do you feel like this is the right move, or is there something else that I could have done? Things like that.
I think overall, I feel really excited. Just as the course has been going, I feel like I've been learning new things that I never really thought of. And just like from working on the different projects that we do, it's really exciting and how to make things better, and just like the creative ability with it is really awesome. So my experience with it so far, thanks.
Yeah. What is your feeling of this?
Yeah.
The right choice?
Yeah, I definitely think I made the right choice, and it's just the experience is very challenging in a lot of ways. So if you're looking to be challenged and to learn new things and to never stop learning, it's definitely the right path.
I mean, life is a constant journey. You always have to learn new things, but especially with coding, there is no end to it. Like, you have 5 bugs, right? And then you fix it, and then you end up with like 15 more.
Yeah.
It's never over, so it's constantly learning. So this is the type of profession that is challenging. Obviously, it's challenging itself, but it's pretty rewarding because you always learn something new, and it shows that you can do it. You can improve. You can surpass your boundary, your limits, places that you never thought you could do. Or be. But yeah, it's just really cool to see that you made the right choice, just like me. I'm so happy.
Just like me.
And again, it depends. Do I love coding? No. Do I enjoy it? No. But am I interested in that? Yes. Some front-end development is really cool as well, but pretty much that is not my specialties, and I don't know if I will major in that in the future, but it is really cool. So that gets back to, you have to really know yourself to understand which field that you should major into. So that's really good. So number 4, what is your new view of life? when you take this career change, like, do you see that, wow, life is so amazing, I never thought I could do this, and I feel like I've changed into a new person that I never thought I could be, things like that.
Yeah, I think through coding, you take a very pragmatic and logical approach on things, and now it seems like nothing is really impossible. It's like, okay, how do I break this down into steps to making it happen? So, probably just the nothing is impossible mindset.
It's simple, but it's really simple, but it's really practical, because a lot of profession is pretty hard at first, but that's where people stop because it's hard, so they just stop. But at least with this kind of approach, especially in technology, there is no such thing as a stop. It's just that we can't do it yet, so we have to find a way to do it. There is no such thing like we actually can't do it unless we can't do it. But it rarely happens. It's, at least for my experience, for coding, it's not really that we can't do it. It's just that it's not worth it. It takes too much time, too much effort, labor, money to spend into it. Like, it takes a lot, but the outcome is just not worth it. So that's why it's not available, but it's not really impossible.
Definitely.
So with the journey, what is your win? Something new that you discover about yourself, not just about that nothing is impossible, but more about, I never thought I could do this, but I don't encourage it, obviously, but I can just function through the day with 4 hours sleep or something like that. I'm actually stronger, and I learned how to manage my time, I learned how to manage my diet, what to eat and what not, things like that, because this kind of program is really demanding and really challenging. So obviously, you probably don't have enough money to eat fancy stuff all the time. You have to survive on ramen and McDonald's, pretty much like college life. But at the same time, it's so short and strict that you can't really eat chicken nuggets every day. So.
Okay. I guess my win would be, kind of like an underdog story. I enjoyed math, I feel like, but at the same time, just to be honest, I did, in my undergrad, probably in less than 1 week, I dropped out of my Calc 2 class that I was enrolled in because it was just moving at such a fast pace, and I don't know, it really was overwhelming for me in the transition of high school and college. So I really didn't imagine myself working in a field which required me to write functions and think in that way. So being able to now look at problems and how to break it down into like if statements and booleans is pretty, I would say, amazing. So that'd definitely be my win, incorporating the whole mathematical component into my life.
So, like by understanding that there was, most likely there was always a solution, it's just that we don't know how to break it down, and like obviously that is math. I am a little bit of myself on that take is, I hate that thing. Like if and boolean, and I'm not a big fan of front end, so but I had to try some of that for UXDI as well, and a lot of times you forget a semicolon or semicolon, just pronounce that, and you forgot just one thing, just one letter, and it breaks the whole thing. And then even sometimes I enter the exact same thing. I don't know how it functions like that, but I enter the exact same thing and it doesn't produce the right result. But if I copy from somewhere else and I paste the whole thing, it looks exactly the same, it works. So even spacing is a problem. Like if you press space, it will not work.
But, very touchy.
Yeah, but you don't know that you have that mistake because it's a space. It doesn't show any kind of form or symbol to help you recognize that, oh, you have that mistake. But yeah, definitely learning math, and it's not just about that. But what I do is more about the mentality of just taking things slowly and break it down into chunks, and then just solve it part by part.
Yeah. I just like to add on to that, like there's a lot of time spent struggling too, where, you know, like you said, you forgot a semicolon and you've been staring at your computer for like 2 hours trying to fix this error symbol, and it's like, oh, you go back and it's like, that's what I did wrong. It's this amazing feeling. But the cool thing about that is, like, you just get smarter and smarter. Like, you learn from your errors. It takes you a fraction of the time to crack that error the next time. So I think just being able to spend a lot of time struggling, but then at the same time learning from that, like it's not time wasted, and the next time you encounter that type of situation, you're like, oh, I know what that is, and you move on really quickly. So
Yeah. So that's really great. And vice versa, what are your losses? Time management. You learn that there are so many things that you can't handle. You have too much on your plate. I have a couple of friends like lost weight because they couldn't sleep, things like that. So what are your losses? And then again, losses is not bad, but something negative that affects your life or you found out during the journey, and at least that now you know it, you can solve it. So,
yeah, I think just kind of like adjusting to like exercise and sitting balance. Like that's a little challenging because previously I would go like mountain biking every day, or I would go skiing, or I'd like always be doing something. But in this course, like you're literally doing homework from like 7 in the morning until like 10 or 11 at night. So there isn't a lot of time to be able to do other things. So just trying to like balance it all. So like usually on the weekends I'll try to like get some exercise. So yeah.
Yeah, that's totally true. It is obviously you will have to learn about yourself and understand what can make you feel comfortable, kind of things like that. Because I think the term was ergonomics, like the way you sit and how you position your hands, your posture, things like that. Like it affects a lot of your production, like productive effort, and it's really hard because the wrong posture can put you into a really bad mood, and like the whole day you will get so tired that the next day you can't do anything. And then beside that, it's also about exercising. So obviously this is a really rough and strict course, so it's not like you have free time every day, but something that you can learn is you have to push yourself because you're already pushing yourself to this point. So honestly, I don't think that if you were joining this kind of courses and like trying to change your life, and then you're already doing something so strange and so hard, and out of nowhere you just say like, oh, I can't do this, that doesn't make any sense. Because this changes is obviously much bigger than trying to put some effort into maybe every morning or every night. I mean, I know that, but then again, I wish that I have someone kind of motivate me. So every morning just wake up and just doing burpees or jumping jack for just 10 minutes and before you go to sleep to get your mind straight and become active. You don't need a lot. You don't need to like build muscle or like go exercise every day. I doubt you will have time for that too. But
just little things to break up your day.
Yeah, just like you have to do some kind of active exercise. That's pretty much the deal. Otherwise, it can ruin your whole day. And last part, the interesting one. What is your advice for new people that is coming into web development, especially this one is front-end development, or just people trying to get into the tech field in general, or even to people that just trying to change your career, trying to change your life, change their lives, and especially for yourself when you feel down in the future, what would you say? As usual, point at the camera and say it to yourself. That's your spotlight.
Okay.
It's a plan.
Never give up, never surrender. Yeah, that's about it. Just keep believing in yourself and know that you can do it. And there's going to be ups and downs, but as long as you keep going for it, it's going to pay off.
Oh, it definitely will. Yeah, that's it. You
Okay.
finish one hell of a big blog post for yours. So yeah, I will just post it as soon as I can. And thank you for joining me today.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say a lot because I didn't major or like I didn't take a course in web development, but I can say that for some aspect, especially patience is one hell of a big skill for web development because you're going to be staring at just screen for hours and it takes a lot of time and effort into this. So thank you for joining me today. That was really helpful.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll see you guys next time.